Because without distribution, your film doesn't exist for the public. And what I mean is you don't need to find the sales agent or distributor, but then you need to learn it. You need to know how to do it yourself. Welcome to another episode of Film and Business. My name is Rosa Camero, your host, film producer, CEO and founder of Ramiro AI, your film marketing and distribution assistant. And today we're going to talk about Distribution 101 for Dummies. I needed to do this episode because I know distribution is like the hidden part of making films. It's like I make a film and it is pretty much forward. You know, you need to find your film crew, the creatives you want to work with. You have a script, you produce, you finish, right? I mean, that's like the easiest, the easiest path. We know it's not as easy as it sounds. But I mean, we know what it is making a film. The thing about releasing our film and showing it to the audience is that we don't know what is next. We make the film, but we don't know what should we doing to reach that audience. And a lot of people believe that if it's a good film, then it will be sold alone. You don't need anything because it's a good film and it will be just found because people love good films. The thing is, there's so many competitors out there. There's so many filmmakers that think the same as you. They think their film is unique and it's really good. Therefore, which one I'm gonna watch? Like, even though I'm being watching the whole day, you have multiple streaming platforms to choose from that they also are making content for you. How do I find your film? I mean, if it's small and maybe you don't have a lot of budget for marketing, then you really need to be smart. And how I'm going to reach that audience. And this is where distribution comes in handy. And knowing about it is super important. So by the end of this episode, I promised that you will know exactly what distribution means and where to start with your film. Like how to distribute your film if you're doing it alone. And if you're not doing it alone, it's the same process even when you do it with a film distributor. So is this information important that you know? Yes, because that means that you have a better chance to get a better deal with them. You really need to know that the people that you're facing on the other side of films, people who make money with films, they want to negotiate and they will always want to have a better deal. So you really need to be prepared to get out there, sell your film, and get the best deal for you. Not for them, but for you. They're not making you any favors. It's an exchange. Your film for the money they're gonna make. So buckle up. Here we are. So what are you gonna get from this episode? Distribution is not just selling. Distribution and marketing are married. I always say you're gonna talk about distribution without talking about marketing because you need to market your film in order for the audience to watch that film. So distribution is a whole thing where marketing, distribution, promotion are together. Start early, not after your film is finished. I mean, if you have a film you are producing at this moment, make sure to start promoting the film. I mean, small actions every day, it will help you to build an audience. It will help you to grow faster. So you don't need to do everything at once because you can do it like you can have like a small doses of marketing every day. Repetitive task that you can execute every day so your audience can find you. And it's not as difficult as it sounds because you are doing it like little by little. You need to learn the different windows and different paths to release your film. So normally you go into festivals, you have a festival route. A lot of people count that as a distribution for me, that I've been in distribution for many years, I don't count that as a real distribution, because for me, that's a marketing action to reach the people that you are looking for. So when you get into a film festival, then you hire PR, and then you do a marketing strategy around it. So for me, this is personal. I don't consider festival route as a distribution, but many others they do, and it can be part. But you choose if you want to go to festivals or not. But the windows that you need to get aware of is theatrical. This means film theaters. You have streaming platforms. You have DVDs, even though they supposed to be dying a few years ago, but they're coming back. People like to have physical things. People like to collect and have collections of DVDs. So DVDs for many independent films, it's working really well. So I'll just put it out there, and you decide if you want to put it on your distribution strategy. You have TV, so this is broadcasters, and then you can do educational, so libraries that they buy your film. They don't pay much, but you can be in different libraries. At least here in Denmark, you can do it that way. Also, I know you can do that in the US, and then also you can do educational routes. So if you have an impact documentary or social impact film, then you can do a round in universities, and you do screenings, and they pay you. They can pay you for the lecture. They can pay you to have the film. And wait until the end, because I am giving you the mistakes that you need to avoid when you enter into the distribution phase. So first, let's start with the basics. What is distribution? What do you mean? What do you mean when I distribute something? And I remember when I started working in the film industry, I started working in a film distribution company. And when I try to explain to people, when you think about films, you think about the film theater. You think about when you're watching the film. So you don't know what is going on in the middle. There's a lot of things in between making a film and actually watching a film that is going on, and we as a final users don't know unless you love films and you are aware of what is going on in the film industry. So when I first started working in the film industry, I started working in a distribution company. So to explain to people what was that kind of company, I said, okay, you think about exhibition, because it's okay, you're working for the cinemas. It's I'm not working for the cinemas. I'm working for a company that is in between the production company and the cinemas. So it's the middleman. So distributors, sales agents are the middlemen. So that's the difference between exhibitors. So, and we call exhibitors to the people that it's in the final step to distribution. So it's exhibitors, that means film chains, streaming platforms, broadcast, those are exhibitors. And then we have sales agents and distributors, so that's the middleman, and that will be the distribution part, and then the production part that's the production companies. That's where you make the film. So distribution is to actually sell your film, to actually make sure that your film ends in any of the exhibitors that you want to show your film on. And unfortunately, it's getting more difficult to distribute a film, to actually exhibit a film, because it's you have very few options to actually show your film. So you really need to be creative if you're an independent filmmaker in order for you to go out there and release your film. So this is why also it's important that you know what distributors and sales agents are talking to you, because it's not about the creativity. They don't care about being creative. You already make a film. Now you need to sell it. And now you have to put your producer or the negotiator hat and make that film go into the different windows, the different exhibitors that are out there. But first you need to convince the middleman. The middleman is the sales agent or the distributor. So distribution is basically the business of making your film available to audiences through different platforms. That's the basic of distribution. Why it matters? Because without distribution, your film doesn't exist for the public. And what I mean is, you don't need to find the sales agent or distributor, but then you need to learn it. You need to know how to do it yourself. If you don't want the sales agent, or you don't want the film distributor, or it happens that you didn't close anything that was worth your time and value and film, then it means that you're gonna do it yourself. I mean, you have to. It's your duty, because you already finished a film, and the film shouldn't stay in a hard drive. It should stay just in a box, and let's just move on and do whatever, like the next thing in my creative career, I finish with this film. No, you make a film to be seen. You make a film for others to enjoy it. So it is your duty as a filmmaker, film director, film producer, to actually put your film out there. So if you don't find a sales agent or film distributor, then you find someone to support you. Then you find someone to help you to do that work, because that film exists for a reason. So you really need to put it out there. Like I'm telling you, this is your warning. So what is the value chain? The value chain is you producer, then goes into distributor goes to exhibitor goes to audience. That's normally the way it works. It can go from producer to exhibitor. Like now with so much competition out there, and having a few options, then producers, especially bigger ones, are deciding to jump just the middleman and go into exhibitors. And I think that's fair. And I think, I always say, the less people you have in the middle, in between producing and exhibitors, the better. Because that means every person that enters the equation of selling your film, it means less profit for you. So each one of them, they have like a percentage. They don't do it for free, of course. So they do a sales agents, maybe 20 to 30%. Film distributors, they do it between 30 and 50%. And then the exhibitor, they also take a cut. So you close with a distributor, and then with the distributor exhibitor, the exhibitor always wins. This means the maximum that you get is 50-50. So that means ticket sale, you get 50-50. We're talking about theatrical. So when you have theatrical release, ticket sale is, if you're lucky, 50-50. If you're not, it's 60-40, and sometimes it's even 70-30. So that means 70 for the cinema, 30 for you. So you really need to be really good at negotiating, really good at, okay, how can I make the best out of it? Because then from there, the money starts coming in, and you don't see the money until last. So this means that first is the distributor. So they see whatever they negotiated with the exhibitor. And then from there, that becomes the 100%. And then 100% they divide it between, if the distributor took 50%, then that means that you are taking, so it's 50-50. So you're taking 50%, they're taking 50%. But if you have a sales agent in the middle, then that means they're going to take their cut. And then that 50% that it was for you, then it becomes 100%. And then they will take 30%. And then from that 100%, then they will take their cut. And then you will get your whatever is left. So sometimes, and very often, filmmakers, producers don't see money, because there's many people involved in that chain. And then in the end, it's like it goes the other way around. You make the film, and in my mind, you're supposed to be the first one to see money coming in. But of course you can't, because you're trusting all these people to distribute your film and make money. So you have to have in place really, really good contracts. You have to have like a really good contract. If you're not good at negotiating and drafting contracts and seeing the best for you, hire a lawyer. You can also use Ramiro AI for that. Of course, Ramiro AI doesn't have any legal advice in there, but it can help you draft a contract, and also it can help you to understand what the contract means. So that means that you copy paste whatever you're in doubt, and instead, because sometimes, I don't know you, but when I started negotiating, and I started like taking a look at contracts and taking a look at the clause, and right now I'm really good at it. Like, I can see the holes and I can see the things that what is going on in the contract. But I have to say, when I started working in the film industry and started like having all these collaborations and reading contracts, like I didn't know anything about legal, and I'm not a lawyer. Like, I studied communication, and I specialize in marketing. So that was part of the work. I needed to understand the legal consequences. So I started asking questions to people, right? But sometimes you feel like, oh, I feel so stupid asking these questions. Like, I should know, right? And if you have that feeling of I should know, I'm embarrassed, because then they're gonna know that I'm not at their level, or this is not like, then they're gonna think I'm stupid or whatever. Then you have tools like Ramiro AI to help you to actually understand what is going on. And you're also entitled to ask questions if you don't understand anything. You already did your research. You asked to these AI tools, and then it is not clear. You can ask. I mean, you can always ask, what do you mean by this? Why this clause it is like this? And then you also have the right to change. Like, I suggest this and this and these changes because I don't agree with this, and da-da-da. So you are in a negotiation. So you really need to be aware that it's okay to negotiate, it's okay to ask questions, and it's okay to change the contract. It's not set in stone. So where do you start? Where do I start when I'm starting to thinking about distribution and I want to distribute my film? So you have to define your goals. Not all the films are made for commercial distribution, and not all the films are made to do all this route of different windows, different things. So, and then also it has everything to do with selling, and also that they buy it. So if they want to work with your film and you find the right sales agent, the right distributor. So it depends also of your goal. So just recently I had a call with one of my clients, and they said, we have this film and I don't want the film to go into festivals. It's like, I'm not interested. I have done it before, and that's not for me right now. This film, it's more commercial. Like, I want to do that, and I want to do it myself, because I really had like a really bad experiences with distributors before. So I want to learn how to do it myself, and that's the way we are working together. So if you're clear of what are your goals with your film, and you want to go like commercial way, festival way, you want to be chosen and having prizes and laurels and all these things, then you can do that depending on your goals. And you really need to be clear. That doesn't mean that if you have a goal and maybe in 6 months you change your mind, you can do that. I mean, the goals can always change, but you just need to be really, really clear of what you want. Step number 2, identify your audience early. I have known filmmakers, I have worked with filmmakers and producers that they have so much experience doing what they do, making films, but they don't know who are their audience. It's like, I have this idea, is amazing. People get on board, the people get made, and they don't know who are their targets. Like, how can you don't know who is your target? So you need to you identify your audience early. Again, you can use Ramiro AI for that. Ramiro AI can help you to build your audience, to help you to find out who is this person. Step number 3, research distribution options that fit your goal and audience. That means that not all the distributors are for you, and not all the people is for you. And also, again, if you see something is weird and you see something is not going well, something like red flags, yes, so then make sure to research and see why it's not working, And also follow your instinct, follow your gut, follow, like, no one else knows what is going on, like with your film and also with you and the things that you have as a goal. That it might be that you don't find the right partner, because distributors and sales agents are your partners, that you really need to hit it off with them, or you really need to feel like, okay, this is a good relationship. And also because you are building relationships not only for this film, but for many films to come. So if you already work really well with one distributor, the sales agent, so maybe you can work again with the same team again and again and again. Step 4, build your materials. I always say this, and remember, you need to have your marketing materials. That's super important. Having your pitch deck, your press kit, your trailer, your poster, your stills, like having all this marketing material ready for when you are ready to sell is super, super important. So having all these things like pitch deck, press kit, trailer, poster, stills, what else? So tell me in the comments what else is missing here, but we have talked about it. Like, marketing materials are super important for you to have. Step number 5, understand contracts. We already talked about this, and again, I'm going to repeat it again. You need to understand what is written in those agreements. It's not someone else's job. It's your job as a filmmaker, producer, doing this to read that contract. And I have seen many times with filmmakers that they don't read. Like, even I have had the bad experience of working with filmmakers that they don't read or contract. Like, you are my client, I send you a contract, you sign it, you say yes to it, and then suddenly they don't know what's going on. Like, oh, you have an extra fee because of this, you said this, remember? Like, they don't know anything, and then suddenly, like, they don't know what's going on. So it's your duty to read contracts, to read the terms and conditions, to read what is going on with you, with your film, the service that you're hiring, the contract that you're having with a film distributor. No one is going to do it for you unless you have a lawyer that is helping you with that. You need to read it. And if you don't want to read it now, okay, so now we have AI, amazing AI. Ramiro AI can help you to highlight the different things that it's in the contract. Also, you can use ChatGPT. You can use both or Gemini or Grok or Claude. You can use all these tools to highlight the contract, but you cannot trust these AI tools to give you the full picture. You really need to read it. So please do it. Please read the contract. Don't just leave it for later, because that's something really important in the distribution part of your film. So now that we know the steps, where can I just send my film? Like, where can I see, like, where can I watch my film, and who's in charge of that? So you have a theatrical release. This means sending your film to cinemas, doing things with AMC or all these film chain in Scandinavia's Nordic Films, for example. In Mexico is Cinépolis and Cinemex, and the US are like Cinemark, many others like film chains around the world. And this means, normally the deal typically is you are 1 week, so the first week of releasing a film in theaters, in film theaters, is you have only 1 week. The first weekend of releasing your film is the most important. If you don't film the screening rooms, and if you don't have enough people, then you cannot follow up with the next week. So depending of that week, depending how good your numbers are, you might keep going the next week and the next week and next week. So you really need to focus. That's why when you see like these big blockbusters having this marketing campaign around it, is like they really want you to go the first weekend. So that's why it's like 3-4 weeks before you are like seeing all this crazy marketing for this film, like super big. It's super intense. But sometimes as an independent filmmaker, we don't have that kind of money. So you start before. So you start like you have you're building, you're going, you're doing. So that means that every time that you have a screening or you have something going on, the fans will get like really excited about it, right? So that will be the theatrical release. And then we have TV and video on demand. So this is we're gonna just separate these two. So we have streamers, so video on demand. This means Netflix, Hulu, and many others. Like there's so much like that I work with distribution. Like I've been working with distribution for many years, but not because when I work with my clients, when I work as a film producer, I take care of the distribution part. So I go to markets and then I get to meet other people and other platforms. And it's not only Netflix. Like there's so many video on demand platforms out there. I mean, there's so many streaming platforms that you can be part of. It's crazy. So having the streamers, it's one way to distribute your film. And then you have broadcasters. This is TV, like open TV or cable TV. Cable TV, they pay a little bit more. And then you have the pay TV, that is the free, and then that's like massive, right? But this is like the hierarchy of how well they pay. So theatrical, unfortunately, even though it's not as strong as before, is still where you actually make money, because that's the way that you can actually get a little revenue. Again, I would like to have more information about how much streaming platforms pay, but I know from experience and from my clients and people I have worked with, I know they don't pay as well as you think. So it's like you can have your film on Netflix. That doesn't mean that they pay you well. I mean, they don't pay well. So you have a lot of visibility, but you don't make bank. That's for sure, unless that you have other sales in other windows. So that's why you need to be like, you're like a octopus. You need to be, oh, okay, my film is there, my film is there, my film is there, my film. So it's like you're making money little by little. And then because you're growing your audience and because you're growing what is going on around your film, that means that you can make money for many years, like I'm telling you, many years. And then you also have the option to self-distribute. So you can do self-distribution, you can have direct sales to audience, so you can rent a screening room and then you can fill it up with your own people. You can do there's Vimeo. They have a video on demand platform, so you can open your own store there. You can also have grassroots tours. This means going from city to city, opening your film there, inviting people, doing like collaborations locally with businesses there. That's another thing that you can do. Is like a music, is like a musician. So they go on tour, they fill up stadiums, they fill up like venue events, and then take my money. Like films are doing the same. And I think for some people it works really well, for other filmmakers don't. So you choose, like, remember, goals, having a clear goal. What do I want to do? Where do I want to go? What do I want to achieve with my film? That's the most important, because from there you start making decisions, and from there you start creating a strategy. So what I mean with distribution, no one size fits all. You need to choose the right mix for you and whatever works for you. Common mistakes to avoid. Thinking festivals is equal distribution. As I said, this is my personal point. I don't think film festivals are part of the distribution. It's more it's like more of a marketing strategy, but that's me. Other people will tell you the different, but in film festivals, you don't make money. You make a little bit of visibility, but you don't make money. Mistake number 2, waiting until post-production to think about distribution. It's too late. I know, and people come and say, this in post-production, we can do it, and we can make it happen, depending on the strategy, depending on the goals, we can make it happen. Post-production is a really good time to come and, for example, like talk to me, but you need to start thinking about distribution from very early on, like the same as marketing. It's not something that I'll just take care of it later. Like, no, the sooner you start, the sooner you start, the better. Mistake number 3, signing contracts without legal advice. We have talked about through this episode about this. Yeah, you need legal advice, especially if it's like a big film. It's like, maybe it's your first one. You don't understand like very good the film business. Protect yourself. You have AI tools. They won't The thing about working with AI tools like Ramiro AI or ChatGPT is that they're not responsible. I mean, you are the only responsible of that contract. So if you have access to a lawyer, if you have access to someone who is like within the legal parameters of negotiating a contract, then protect yourself. And then another mistake, this is the last one, no knowing your rights. Like not knowing, like, oh, if a broadcaster buys my film and then that's it, I finish. No, you have the whole world. And then if the broadcaster gets 100% rights from the all territories, then you're not gonna make your money back unless that's your goal. That just I finish, I sell it, bye bye. But you have so many options out there, so you really need to think about, okay, where do I want to place my film and how do I want to do it? And then if I'm gonna do it around the world, then you need a sales agent. You need someone to help you with that. So yes, knowing all your options, knowing all the different options that you have, it's super important. And to finish this episode that I think has been really good, I don't know, you tell me in the comments what you think, and if you have any more questions, let me know. And okay, so as a recap, distribution is a bridge. Start with your goals and audience and explore all available paths. Don't wait until your film is finished. Start your distribution strategy now, today. This is your sign. And if you want to try Ramiro AI, come and hang out with us. Ramiro AI is here to help you map your audience and plan your release. So come and hang out with us. It's super fun, it's super nice, and it's easy to use. Easy to use if you haven't done AI before. And don't forget to subscribe, share, and review so more filmmakers can learn more about film and business with Rosa Camero. So see you next time.